In some cases, compulsory notification of vacancies to employment exchanges is required by law. What is the main work of the placement agencies? They compile biodata of large number of candidates and recommend suitable names to their clients. Applicants introduced by present employees or their friends and relatives may prove to be a good source of recruitment. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence. In continuation of my sessions on this chapter, staffing, in this session 4, I will be discussing about the external sources of recruitment. So, what do you mean by the external source of recruitment? And what are the various sources through which you can just recruit people for the organization? Now, let us understand the meaning of the word external sources. So, as name itself suggests, external means something which is outside the organization. So, you should understand what is the meaning of the word external source, and then we'll just look into the various external sources of recruitment of employees. So, an enterprise has to tap external sources for various positions because the vacancies cannot be filled through internal recruitment. So, as we all know, any organization will not have extra hands to do the work. So, whenever there is a vacancy arising in the organization, we should understand that we cannot appoint them through the internal sources. So, there is a need for external source as well. So, only through internal or only through external source we cannot appoint. So, we should have a combination of both internal and external source. So, in an external source, why we should go in for an external source, we'll just see here. So, the existing staff may be insufficient or they may not fulfill the eligibility criteria of the jobs to be filled. So, whoever is the existing staff in the organization, they may not be eligible or they may not be well qualified for the demands of the job. So, that job which has a vacancy, so for this new job vacancy in the organization, it may require some fresh talent or fresh latest technology which the existing employees may not have. So, that is why there is a need to just fill up those vacancies through external sources. So, the external recruitment provides wide choice and brings new blood in the organization. So, as I told you earlier, so we have, whenever we just announce that there is a job vacancy in the organization, most of the organizations will be flooded with application from prospective candidates. So, you can have a very wide choice. So, there will be thousands of people who will be applying for the jobs. They may be very good freshers who will be well versed in that particular area. So, they will be the job seekers, and from this wide choice, you can always have fresh blood or new blood or what you call as the fresh talent which have been introduced into the organization. Then, this external source, now let us just discuss what are the different types of external sources which are there for recruitment of people. Now, the first one is direct recruitment. Now, what is this direct recruitment? You just appoint people as and when they come to the place of work. Now, in this direct recruitment, a notice is placed on the notice board of the enterprise specifying the details of job available. So, whatever is the details of the job available, you just put a notice outside the gate, and then those persons who are just interested in doing the job, they will just come near the gate and they may be just directly recruited on the jobs. Now, job seekers assemble outside the premises of the specified date and the selection is done on the spot. So, they just come to the place of work and then they are just selected on the spot. Now, what kind of recruitment we can have through direct recruitment? So, it is usually the unskilled jobs, and it is those jobs where the permanent people who are working in the organization, they may have gone on leave or they may be absent. So, to fill their post, we can just appoint these from the direct recruitment. So in this direct recruitment, there will be no selection process as such, no interviews, and it will be just a casual exchange of views in the gate itself, and then you just put them directly on the job. So it is usually done for daily laborers, or it may be for unskilled jobs, and it may be on a daily basis. So at the end of the day, you just pay the wages, and then the contract of employment or the job will be over. That's all. So in this direct recruitment, the process of recruitment is very simple. So whoever comes seeking the job, she will be given the job, and as such there will be no technical skills required. So this is one type of direct or external source of employment, and they will be provided wages on a daily basis. Then next external sources, casual callers. So what is this casual callers? Let us just see. Many reputed organizations keep a database of unsolicited applications in their offices. Such job seekers can be a valuable source of manpower. Now, a list of such job seekers can be prepared and can be screened as and when, and fill the vacancies as they arise. So these casual callers they are those freshers who have not got any job and they are on the lookout for the job. Now what do? They just go from company to company to drop their resumes. So when they just drop in their profiles to the various companies, the companies there, they will just keep a file of all these resumes, and as and when the vacancies arise, they will just notify these persons and they will be given the jobs. So in this way, we can also fill up the various vacancies in the organization without giving any advertisement. So these casual callers are an important source of job applicants. So they will just come and they may get the job. If they are very lucky, they may just get the job immediately. So these casual callers are an important source of manpower. So whenever there is a vacancy in the organization, and if the organization is in a hurry to appoint someone, they can select someone from this database itself. So it is an important source of manpower for staffing. Then here they are asking, do you need a job? So any person who has come to drop in his resume, he can always grab the offer and start off with his job. Now, the major merit of this source is that it reduces the cost of recruiting workforce in comparison to other forces. So there is a reduction in the cost of the employment. Now, what is the reduction in cost? First thing is you need not advertise. Second thing is you need not screen the applications. Third one is you will be just all this time and energy wasted on advertisement and screening of the applications and holding interviews, all this can be reduced because you will have a database and you just call the candidates directly and you just give them the job offer. So there is a huge reduction in cost of recruitment here. So it is most economical way of recruiting the persons needed in the organization. Now the third source of recruitment is advertisement. So they are just shouting here that we are hiring. So the advertisements in newspapers, trade and professional journals is generally used when a wider choice is required. So when you need a wide choice, when you feel that the internal source of employment is very limited and you need fresh talent or fresh blood in the organization, then it is always better to advertise the various job vacancies in the organization. So how do you advertise? It can be in the newspapers or trade journals or professional professional journals. So when you advertise in professional journals, the persons who are qualified in that field, only they will be applying, and then you can have a choice from those applications. Then the advantage of advertising vacancies is that more information about the organization and the job can be given in the advertise. So if you can observe the vacancies which are there, if you can just see the job vacancies column in the newspapers, there will be a brief introduction of the company, the working of the company, and what type of a person they are looking for. So all this information can be given when you advertise. But if you don't advertise, you will not, the future or the prospective employees, they will not know anything about the company. So it is better to give an advertisement in the newspapers about the job and about the company itself, so that the persons who are the prospective job seekers, they will more information about the job and the company. Then the fourth source of external source is employment exchange. Now these persons are just coming to the employment exchange and registering their names in the employment exchange. Now just let us see what is an employment exchange. So employment exchange run by government are regarded as good source of recruitment for unskilled and skilled operative jobs. So if it is a government run employment exchange, almost all the persons who have graduated or those who have the basic qualification, they can register themselves in the government employment exchanges, and whenever there is any offer or whenever there is any vacancy arising in any of the companies, these exchanges will intimate those persons who are registered in their books, and they will be allowed to attend the interview, and in case they pass the interview, they may get the jobs. So the main job of the employment exchange is to register the persons who are seeking the jobs. So in some cases, compulsory notification of vacancies to employment exchanges is required by law. So for some government appointments, they just require the registration in employment exchanges. So in any government offices, if there is any vacancy arising, so such vacancies should be first notified to the employment exchanges, and then only it has to be advertised. So in this way, the persons who are registered with the employment exchanges, they will get to know about the job, and they can apply directly through the employment exchanges. So in this way, you see that you ensure that persons who are registered at the employment exchanges, they will be given a preference over those who have not registered. So this is one way of employing the people. So even if it is a private organization also, they may just refer to the employment exchange, and they can just get their jobs filled through these exchanges. The external sources, the employment exchanges, help match personal demand and supply by serving as a link between job seekers and employers. So they are here to just match the demand and supply. So they know the supply position, that is how many persons have registered, how many persons with what kind of qualification and skill have registered. They will be having the database, and on the other side, they will also be knowing what are the various kinds of vacancies available in the various organizations, whether it is a public sector, private sector, or any type of organization. What are the jobs available? These organizations will have to notify to the employment exchanges, and as such, they will be knowing the demand position and also the supply position. So they will be just facilitating the meeting of the job seekers and job providers. So, but unfortunately, the records of the employment exchanges are often not up to date, and many of the candidates referred by them, these records which are maintained by the employment exchanges, they are not up to date. They are not doing the jobs well. So whoever the candidates they have referred, they may not be found suitable. So this is one of the demerits of having a appointment through the employment exchanges. Then the next kind of external source is placement agencies and management consultants. Now, what do you mean by placement agencies? See, these placement agencies provide a nationwide service in matching personal demand and supply. So, these agencies compile biodata of large number of candidates, recommend suitable name to their clients. Now, what is the work of these placement agencies? So, these placement agencies, they provide a nationwide service. Nationwide service means they may cater to the needs of all types of organizations throughout the whole of the country. So, where they will be matching between the demand position and the supply position of the jobs. Now, what is the main work of the placement agencies? They compile biodata of large number of candidates and recommend suitable names to their clients. Then next we will look into what are other work they can do. These agencies charge fees for their services and they are useful where extensive screening is required. So, what is the job of these agencies? They compile biodata and they also do the preliminary screening for the job because they know the clients. They know the organization, what type of organization it is and what kind of persons they are looking for. So, everything these placement agencies will be knowing. And then what they do is from the biodata, they select some of the persons who are suited for the job and do all the preliminary screening and they just allow them to meet the prospective clients. And they charge a fee for their services and they are useful where extensive screening is required. So, where you need proper extensive screening, so these persons will do all the screening and then they will allow them to go to the companies. So, the professional recruiters can entice the needed top executives from other companies by making the right offers. So, another feature of these placement agencies is they can entice the top executives of other companies. Suppose a top executive of a company, he is a very good performer and he has brought lot of profit to the company. Such persons are noted and these placement agencies will approach them and they just give them a very good offer so that they just leave that company and come to this another company. So, they just give them job offers and leave them to other companies. So, all this work is done by the placement agencies and they will be charging some sort of a fees for their services. Next in the process of external source or the next source of external is campus recruitment. Now, what is this campus recruitment? Nowadays, it is the most common word which is used by all of us. So, whenever a person wishes to join a college, so he or she will first inquire whether there is campus selection or campus recruitment. Now, what is the meaning of this word campus recruitment? So, colleges and institutes of management and technology have become popular source of recruitment for technical, professional and managerial jobs. Now, in this campus recruitment, the colleges will tie up with some management, they will tie up with some organization who needs management candidates or who need professional candidates with technical knowledge and skills. So, when they tie up with these organizations, they just come to that particular college, conduct the interview and then if the person is suitable, they may immediately give him a job offer. So, this is one type of campus recruitment. So, many big organizations maintain a close liaison with universities, vocational schools, management institutes and recruit qualified persons for various jobs. So, they have a tie-up with the universities or vocational schools, means those schools which are engaged in giving vocational training or on-the-job training, and also management institutes. So, you can know that IIMs are very famous. So, whenever there is a campus recruitment drive for the IIMs, it will make a big news in the newspaper. So and so has been offered a package of 2 crores per year or 10 crores per year. So, all this make lot of sensation and people get carried away by this and they tend to just, this will be a promotion for the institutes as well. So, they can attract more students for their institutions and thereby the future of such candidates who are studying in that organization, they are settled. So by the time they complete the course, also they'll be having a job offer with them, and they need not go looking after the jobs once they complete their course. So this is a very good way of recruiting people, that is campus recruitment. Persons, the job providers or the employers can recruit qualified personnel for the various jobs. So this is done through campus recruitment. So the person will be still studying in the college itself, and he will be in the final year or something, and by the time he just completes his course, he will come out with the job offer also, the employment offer, or he may be offered the contract of employment. So this is one convenient way of appointing persons for the jobs in the organization. Now, the next external source is recommendation of employees. Now, what is this recommendation? See, there are a lot of applications here which have come, but this person has been offered the job because he knows somebody in the organization. So, applicants introduced by present employees or their friends and relatives may prove to be a good source of recruitment. So, recommendations of employees. So, the existing employees of the organization, you can always tell them about the vacancies, and you can also ask them to refer their own candidates. So, he may be a friend, he may be a relative, or any acquaintance whom he knows who is on the lookout for a job, and he may be offered a good job. So, they prove to be a very good source of recruitment. Why they are a very good source? Because they are likely to be good employees because their background is sufficiently known. So, when you are working in an organization and you know that somebody is on lookout for a job, then you can always tell that person that there is a job vacancy, and you can see that that person is hired into the organization. So this is considered a very good source. Why? Because the existing employee, he will be knowing about the company. So what are the rules and regulations? What is the scale offered? What is the necessity of the job? Everything he will be knowing, and he'll also know the prospective candidate also. So in this way, he can always brief him about the company rules and regulations, and then that person also will know what to expect from the company. So this recommendation of employees is considered as a very good source of employment. Then next one. The eighth type of external source is labor contractors. Now, who are these labor contractors? See, these labor contractors, they are liaison between the companies and the laborers. So, they act as a middleman between the labor job seekers and the job providers. So, they maintain close contacts with laborers and can provide the required number of unskilled workers at short notice. See, usually in the production sector or where you need unskilled labor, so in such kinds of organizations, we can always take the services of the labor contractors. So the labor contractors, they will have a list of laborers, daily wage laborers, who are in close contact with him, and he can always refer them to any organization with which he has been acquainted with. So in this way, within a short notice only, you can get any number of laborers you need to run the organization. So this is an important source of external source. Now, what is the drawback of this labor contractors? Suppose if the labor contractor runs out, if he has any conflict with the existing organization and he walks out of that organization, then along with him, he'll take all the laborers whom he has appointed. So that is one drawback of having this labor contractors. So we should see that the labor contractors are in good relation with the organization. Then the next one, the next external source is advertising on television. So advertising on television has become the most popular source of advertise. So the practice of telecasting vacant posts is gaining more importance these days. So if there is a positions which are vacant, you just advertise on TV. So the detailed requirements of the job, the qualities required are publicized along with the profile of the organization where the vacancy exists. So whenever there is a vacancy in any organization, you can always tell them about the organization, what the job involves, and what are the skills and qualification needed for the job. So all this we can just advertise on TV, and we can attract the applications from prospective candidates. So the last type of the external source is web publishing. So as we all know, internet has become a common source of recruitment these days. There are certain websites specifically designed and dedicated for the purpose of providing information about both job seekers and job opening. So through the internet, so you have various websites, Naukri.com or Shiksha.com. There are so many other websites which offer this jobs to the job seekers. So they will be instrumental in bringing both to the same platform. So there are persons who are willing to give the jobs, and there are persons who are seeking the jobs. So you just bring them together and see that their job is done. So this is one of the most important source of recruitment nowadays because of the popularity of the internet. So you have various types of net.com, edu.com and naukri.com. There are so many other websites where you can log in and you can just put in your profile and then see that you are landed in a very good job with a very good terms and conditions and pay. So these are the various external sources of recruitment which I have discussed in this session. Hope you all have understood whatever we have discussed today. Thank you.